Good morning. It's 6:30, a little later than during the last couple of days. But that is because we agreed on this. With Genergy, who was also in camp yesterday. Last night was really funny. We camped in like tent city. I don't think for a single night on the CDT I've had so many tents in one spot. I think there were at least 8, maybe 10 tents here. Everybody just congregated on this spot, so that was fun. It did start to rain pretty badly at around 7:30. So by the time we had tents set up already, wasn't too bad. The rain was actually pretty strong. Didn't last all night, I think. I eventually fall asleep, so I don't really know. But yeah, it was another wet night this morning again. I woke up, puddles in my tent, stuff wet, quilt wet. It's just, I don't know, it's not a good situation with my tent. So I'm really glad that it's only 3 days left to Pinedale for me to exchange that. Because I think we're gonna be seeing more rain the further up we come north. Now in July, there is more precipitation in this area. So yeah, it would be really valuable to have a waterproof shelter. Now today's hike is fairly easy to describe. It's down to the Green River Valley. Follow the Green River Valley for about 15 miles to a trailhead / campground. And from there it's about a 2,500 feet climb up out of the valley and onto Gunsight Pass, which is overall about 23 miles. So that's the plan. And as soon as we're getting out of this very damp and wet forest, the sun comes out, I'm gonna have a break and dry all my stuff out because it's desperately needed. I think I found a pretty good spot to dry out my stuff. Took a while, but now at 10 o'clock, sun's finally over the horizon. Today's the day it happened. I was actually pretty proud of my river crossing skills because, I don't know, I've probably crossed hundreds of rivers by now. And the vast majority of them, when they are at least remotely rock hoppable, I managed to cross them dryly. So balancing on rocks over river, I'm pretty good at that usually. But everything is slippery, everything's wet this morning. So the river we just crossed, took a huge leap, landed on a rock, slipped with the other leg, and well, suddenly I was kneeling in the river. So now I'm my pants, shoes, and shoes, and socks are soaked up to my thigh, which I guess isn't that much of a deal because half of it was soaked anyway because of all the wet vegetation already. But it's a good reminder that crossing a rock that is dry is something else than crossing a rock that is wet. Halfway days has really caused a clustering of hikers again, almost like in the initial stages of the CDT. There's so many CDT hikers out within, like, let's say 5-6 hours of each other, that there's like a constant stream of people coming up and down the trail. That's quite amusing. The other thing that I'm wondering about at the moment is when we're actually seeing our first southbound hikers coming towards us. I mean, none of them started before mid-June because they wouldn't be permitted to go through Glacier National Park as the conditions were way too bad up until then. So yeah, that's when they started. I think that's when probably a large share of them started. And that gives them about a little more than 4 weeks on the trail so far. And considering that they probably don't have their trail legs yet and probably moving at a little bit of a slower pace. I looked at comments that there's also a girlfriend of one of the fellow thru hikers who's also going sobo. So she mentioned she's at around the Anaconda cutoff right now. And I think the first comments from people going sobo were around Lima, Ledor, I don't really know how to pronounce it, in the Idaho-Montana section. And somebody said that one of the sobos was apparently already around West Yellowstone. So my expectation would be that within like the next 2 weeks, I think the two bubbles will probably clash together. And it's probably going to be fun because you're going to meet a whole bunch of CDT hikers daily as they're coming the other way. So that's going to be fun. This valley here, coming down from Summit Lake or Knapsack Hole, depending on which route you took, is really beautiful. I mean, it's a wide valley. You get the Green River right in the middle, which is carrying quite a lot of water, and crossing it requires careful consideration and balance. But yeah, you have a spectacular view. I mean, you can see it behind me. And by now, because of the direction of the valley, we also have some sun. It took about 4 hours this morning. Sun didn't really show till almost 10 o'clock in this valley. So we were in the shadow for a long time. It's also why I couldn't really dry out my stuff earlier than that. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it now. Soon gonna cross, I think they're called Upper and Lower Green Lake, where the river then collects all the water, and then that's where I'll have lunch, and then the big climb up to Gunsight Pass will start. I found an abandoned cabin. I'm gonna use that to have lunch because it just started rumbling in the sky. Alright, lunch is over, and looks like I haven't completely misplanned my food carry for once. So I'm on par to make it to Du Bois with only a little bit of spare. Now, that last lake that I hiked, it's really funny. Suddenly, whenever you start to see non-CDT hikers or people, you kind of realize, oh, trailhead nearby. It's also the case here. On the lake, there's a trailhead that you can reach by car, and there's also an official campsite. So there's like a whole bunch of muggles, as they are called by CDT hikers. And muggle is just a term from Harry Potter, kind of referring to normal people. And yeah, it's always fun to see them. But that turn off that I just took will get me away from them again. So I will probably not see any of them on the way up to the pass, which is the next step for today. Just starting that very big climb. Unfortunately, it has just started raining a little bit, so I hope it'll go away. It'll go away pretty quickly, but you never know. Might also turn into a thunderstorm, so we'll see. Yesterday at dinner, somebody said that apparently the bear population doesn't have the same concentration everywhere in this section. So apparently in the Bob Marshall Glacier in Yellowstone, it's a lot higher than in other parts. So one of the things you can do is just look for bear signs. And we just started the ascent up to Gunsight Pass. And just before this pass, like on the mile before this, there were about 25 piles of bear scat on the trail. That was definitely by far the highest concentration of bear scat that we had seen so far. Aside from that, it was always like individual skies of individual piles of scat, maybe 3, 4, 5 miles apart or something like that. So that certainly got us singing. But it seems to be over now. No more scat here on the ascent. Just crossed Gunsight Pass, and even though there would be really spectacular views up here. And some flat spots as well for camping. I think I'm going to descend a little bit because of the thunderstorms that have come through the last couple of days. So camping up on top of a pass probably isn't the best idea. So we'll look for something else.